And welcome back to the NutriMedical Report for the 22nd of February and 2016. And we have Clay. Because you're only here for half an hour on Mondays, I like to use the list where you pick the top nutraceuticals of our NutriMed line, and then we'll expand on the usage. I find that's a good way for people to get familiar with the products. And also because you're such an expert on all the components and how unique they are, it's a good way to get started so people can understand if they tune up and they're one of our elite customers and use the wellness conditions, or if they're doing a consult, it makes more sense to them that they're not going to find equivalent nutraceuticals elsewhere. So, Clay,
one of my favorites is the Calm Mind. I know that you take that yourself, Doc, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I take the Calm Mind a bit during the day if I'm hyper, and I definitely take at least 2 or 3 scoops at night with 2 or 3 scoops of Brain Mag, and about half an hour to an hour before going to sleep. It's amazing.
Yeah, the Calm Mind is something that people can take throughout the day, and I mean, people are so stressed these days. I mean, with just all what the stock market's doing and the election and world events, that people are trying to just deal with all this pressure and stress that's there. And the Calm Mind is something they can take without knocking them out, which will they can still do their work and go about their day, but will just help relieve some of the feelings of stress.
It also will It lowers the central cause of blood pressure. The typical medical doctor drugs are beta blockers and central-acting alpha blockers, like clonidine. And these are stupid drugs. These are drugs that make you, we call dumb, depressed, and basically energic. Basically no energy. When you take Calm Mind, it doesn't take away your energy. It just makes you calm. In fact, you can take it during the day. It'll help cut down on the need for addictions of any kind, whether it's food or alcohol or marijuana. It basically keeps you calm and collected during the day at a low dosage. And when you want to induce sleep, you take that along with their melatonin TER, time release. 1 milligram immediate release, 4 milligrams slow release, and you're all set. You have a wonderful, restful, and physiologically normal sleep and normal sleep wakefulness. You don't wake up, hungover or drowsy. So that's pretty good. What's the next one?
Well, I really like the Collagen Max. I think this is something that people should be taking every single day because you're not getting enough type 1 and type 2 collagen in your diet, and that's what your body needs to repair its hair, skin, and nails. And I know everyone is trying to look, younger by doing all kinds of plastic surgeries and creams and all kinds of Botox and stuff. And I tell you what, the most effective thing you can do is take the Collagen Max, in my opinion. And there's been some great studies on the raw material used in that for strengthening hair, shaft, by helping eliminate fine lines and wrinkles and helping your nails grow faster and stay stronger and not be so brittle. And so if you're aging on the outside, just imagine what's going on the inside, huh, Dr. Bell?
Yeah, exactly. The interesting thing is it's good for your teeth and your enamel. It's good for the cavitations on your teeth. It's good for osteoporosis. It's good for preventing wrinkles. And even we use it for people that have a aortic aneurysm. They're watching it with an ultrasound to make sure it's not expanding in size, because once it gets over a certain surgical size or at a certain velocity, you have to do a Dacron graft, and you want to avoid that at all costs because it's a 5% mortality rate for doing the surgery. You don't come out alive. You, as I say, you make an appointment to see Jesus or whoever is his alternative if you're not been good this, as I say, during your life. So the important thing is to understand that it literally repairs your joints, repairs your elastin, repairs collagen, keeps your skin from wrinkling, makes your hair and nails wonderful. I mean, when women start on this, they say, I don't want to tell my friends this secret. Or maybe they do want to tell their friends, but only their real close friends. Because a lot of them are spending fortunes on cosmetics topically, and they don't realize they need to start, rebuilding their tissues from the inside.
That's right.
What's your next one?
I really like Cognition Plus. I mean, all the ingredients in there, the highest quality ingredients that are used to support brain function and memory function. And so you have in there, you have activated B6, activated folate, activated B12, you have acetyl-L-carnitine, and acetylcysteine, ginkgo biloba extract, which a lot of people will recognize to be effective. You have Bacopa, phosphatidylserine, vinpocetine, transresveratrol, and huperzine A. And so really everything that's been studied over the last 20 years separately to be effective at helping support brain function, putting it all together so that it's a one-stop shop, 1 to 2 caps a day is max dosage, and it really, really does a trick. What do you say about it, Doc?
Yeah, in fact, I'll often push with students or people that have already cognitive problems, 2 capsules twice a day, but I usually find 2 in the morning is plenty. It's amazing. What happens is it helps to buffer your brain against oxidative stress, but it restores neurotransmitter levels and transmitters that are important for third stage memory. And that's what's amazing about it, is that if you learn something, you want it to actually stay in your head. And if you're also multitasking, you don't want to be forgetting things when you're running pillar to post to try to remember, what did I do? Oh, I didn't do this. And when you take Calm Mind, the lists are already in your head. You wake up rested, your brain functions better during the day, you're more calm, and when you're functioning at a high level, you get much less stress too. So that you take that a little bit of the Calm Mind Brain Mag along with your Cognition Plus, and then I also recommend with that the Brain Power, which is a high-dose vinpocetine for protection of the brain and the peripheral and central nervous system against oxidative stress. Pretty amazing stuff. And if someone has an existing problem like MS or peripheral neuropathy or central neuropathy, picked up on an MRI scan, I recommend the Neurogen, Nutrifos, and of course the Vitamin Mineral Max Minerals Plus and the Ultrathiamine B1, very important B1 in its fat-soluble form for remyelination, along with phospholipids, Nutrifos, and Neurogen. So,
yeah, and also, a big deal right now is testosterone therapy, right? You're hearing a lot of people going and getting shots or creams and being advertised all over the television to go get your shots or creams that, you need more testosterone, they're saying. And I tell you what, that could be very dangerous, as you know, Doc. Why would you stay away from the shots and the creams?
Well, the first thing is when it's not physiological, your body converts the excess to female hormone. It also, for example, when your body forms the excess, it can actually stimulate the growth. If you already have, for example, prostate cancer, it'll actually stimulate it, because it's female hormones that actually will stimulate growth of cancers in males. So what you want to do is you want to take Men's Max, 4 capsules in the morning, and Hormone Synergy, 2 capsules in the morning to prevent conversion. And then if you need excess hormone-based material, you want DHEA, 2 to 3 pumps, and pregnenolone, 2 to 3 pumps in the upper abdomen, lower chest. But I really think that the shots and the creams, the testosterone creams, not only are not physiological, we often actually, when we do testing on men's unbound hormone, for male hormone and female, we find that fathers in their 50s and 60s will often have higher levels of female hormone than their teenage daughters. That's bizarre, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's scary.
And they wonder why they're getting breast buds and they're having a change in their voice, or their likes and dislikes are shifting toward a more feminine kind of psyche. How's that? A little humorous here.
No thanks.
That's right. All of a sudden, they don't want to watch football anymore. Maybe it's because they're using too much just topical testosterone cream, and their body's bioconverting it. Okay, funny. What's your next selection?
Well, I really like the Allergon. As you know, a lot of people react to the histamine that's found in the foods that they're eating, and they just don't realize it. But there's histamine in all kinds of foods, ranging from beers and wines to cured meats and cheeses to different types of fish have histamine. And when you eat those, the histamine responds in the body, causing an allergic reaction or inflammation that occurs. And so they'll get a stomach ache or stuffy nose, or they'll get hives or flushing. And there's all kinds of different conditions that arise from this histamine response. And so, the Allergon is diamine oxidase, and what diamine oxidase does, it helps quench internal histamine that's found in foods as well as in the body. And so if your body's not making enough DAO, you're definitely going to react to these foods. So it's smart to take the Allergon with each meal, 1 to 2 capsules each meal, and it helps really prevent from this inflammatory response from occurring.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Good discussion. We'll be back in just a minute with another segment with our amazing expert, Clay Crossan. And if you have any health and wellness questions, do at the bottom of the hour, 800-259-5791.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived.
All pick in the NutriMed line.
Well, I really like the Omega Supreme 900 because it's an IFOS certified fish oil, omega-3 fish oil supplement. And what that means, IFOS certified as International Friends of the Sea. It's a third-party governing body that looks at fish oil contaminations and freshness and quality. And it's 5-star rated. I mean, it's the highest rating you can give a fish oil. So they've even tested for radiation in this fish oil, and that's unheard of within the industry. To have the radiation testing, and so it's the cleanest you can get. It's the most potent. You get close to a gram of EPA and DHA per capsule, that's the business end, the therapeutic end of the fish oil, and you get it in a control release capsule, so it slowly releases, so you're less likely to burp it versus other fish oil. So, there's no reason to get fish oil anywhere else. The Omega-3 Supreme 900 is the best on the market, in my opinion. 1 to 2 caps a day is about all you need to take. Easy to swallow, smells good when you open the bottle. I mean, it's a real no-brainer. What do you say?
It is, and the other one that's really good with it is the Omega Supreme Krill. And most people don't realize that, and I like to use this statement, take 2 and call me when you're 100. Because the astaxanthin protects your body almost, if you want to talk about antioxidant protection for your blood vessels in your brain, the top nutraceuticals would be Omega Supreme Krill, Nutritrala, and Cell Detox Glutathione. And the astaxanthin is amazing how protective it is. It's probably one of the most powerful antioxidants in the world. And we have the only form of krill oil actually independently tested has astaxanthin. All the other processing companies destroy the astaxanthin in the process. So although they say it's a krill oil, it has no astaxanthin. Ours is the only one that has it.
Yep. Yeah, I mentioned that Nutritrala too. You're saying that that's one of your favorite ones for the anti-aging protocol that you recommend? Right.
Yes, I would say because it recycles your fat and water soluble antioxidant systems, and the alpha arlipoic acid is more powerful, but it only lasts a few minutes. So it's there and it's gone. Whereas a long-acting form of ALA is what you want, and it's going to persist during the entire day. So if you take 1 twice to 3 times a day, you have tremendous power to recycle all your fat and water-soluble antioxidant systems.
Yeah, very good. I also like it to use that in the protocol for supporting blood sugar in the body. Yes. There's a lot of studies on this form of alpha-lipoic acid in 600 and 1,200 milligram doses, a control release, at being effective in supporting blood sugar regulation as well.
Yeah, it's not just the blood sugar. One of the things that the doctors do in a test, and I like to see how deep their biochemical knowledge is, and they'll tell me that the hemoglobin A1C is a measure of how high someone's blood sugar is, and I said it's only indirect, because sugar doesn't attach to proteins unless it's been through an oxidative stress of singlet oxygen. And the problem is that in anybody who's diabetic or you're going to end up with a loss of superoxide dismutase 1 and 2 isoenzymes, and the singlet oxygen attaches to sugar because it's a very good absorber. Although when sugar attaches, it itself is still dangerous. It's not as dangerous as singlet oxygen, and it induces advanced glycosylation end product we call RAGE, or reactive advanced glycosylation end products. And the fact is that when you take Nutritrala, you lower RAGE levels, and so that even if there is some sugar attaching, this delinks it. It helps to get rid of the free radicals. It helps get rid of the reactive reaction that causes the blood vessel, the nerve, and the brain damage, and the toxic damage to any target organs. So that's what's so important about Nutritrala. It actually reverses the reactive inflammatory reaction that when sugar attaches to singlet oxygen. Pretty amazing stuff.
Wow, that is amazing. And thanks for explaining that.
Now, what's your next favorite?
I also like the Cell Detox Glutathione, and you mentioned that within your anti-aging protocol.
Oh yeah, that's remarkable, isn't it? There's,
it is.
I hear people on this network and elsewhere marketing things like hemp oil and so on. Those are all well and good, and getting some of the other whey proteins and so on. But these are minor potatoes compared to the actual acetyled glutathione. This is the stuff.
Yeah, it is. The Cell Detox Glutathione, before, to get this much glutathione into the bloodstream, you'd have to sit down and do a bag of IV glutathione, and it would take an hour or 2 hours to get the IV in you, and you'd have to spend $100, $150 each session. You'd have to drive to the office to get it done, and now you just take two in the morning and call it a day, and you still get about as much as you would in a IV, according to a lot of the studies that I've seen on this form of S2-glutathione.
Yeah, and if you're trying to reduce inflammation in any body organ, it's the most powerful single thing that you can do is cell detox glutathione. Then I would recommend that along with Nutrichel Regenerex is the other, which is a combination. It stimulates the PGC1 alpha, the NF-kappa B, all of the other important processes that actually turn off the inflammatory reaction in the tissues. And it's what's called a gene-based antioxidant. It works directly on the genetic induction.
Mm.
So any other special nutraceuticals that you find particularly amazing?
Well, yeah, I do. I something that's very, very effective that I think it's underutilized is the GastroHeal, which is a chewable form of zinc carnosine. And what it does, it actually coats the lumen from your mouth all the way through to the end there. And in case you have any kind of ulcerations, cuts, abrasions, things of that nature, so that your body can actually heal. It's been studied in Japan. It's a drug over there, actually. Be very effective against H. pylori, dyspepsia, gastric reflux, GERD, all these different terrible things people deal with.
I use it for stomatitis, whether it's a gingivitis of the gums or stomatitis like allergic or we call abscess stomatitis or recurring herpes. I use that along with puncturing a soft gel of CoQ10 ubiquinol. It's the primary treatment for, I call stem to stern. If you've got proctocolitis, if you've got inflammatory bowel flare-ups, if you've got bile gastritis or acid reflux, it works for all of those. It's just amazing. And periodontal disease, it's very helpful at speeding up the healing of the tissue along with the CoQ10 ubiquinol. So very effective. What's next?
Well, I really like the colon cleanse. I think that's something that people really struggle with as the older they get. They don't have enough fiber in their diets, or that their gastrointestinal tract isn't working optimally as it should, and they're not eating as well or as much as they should. And what happens is that they get constipated. And this colon cleanse is a very natural, safe, non-addicting form of, has some herbs, and it's got some minerals in it like magnesium, and it's very gentle. They take 1 to 2 caps before bedtime, and in the morning then they can go to the bathroom. And it's very inexpensive, it's safe, it's very good for the intestinal tract. I just think it's very underutilized, but very needed. I hear all the time people just asking for something that's natural for the constipation. And so, the colon cleanse is something I'd highly recommend.
Exactly, yeah. And any other recommendations?
Well, the Vein Away is something, too. I don't know.
Yeah, in fact, I had a call this morning about a person that had gone into renal failure, and they want to know if we can bump them up a bit. Vein Away is number one soft gel, one capsule twice a day, along with ultrathymine B1 are the primary things to get your kidneys functioning again, is ultrathymine B1 and Vein Away. And welcome back, and I'm going to run through the instead of A to Z, Z to A, and we'll start off with the Xenoestrogen Detox. Most people realize that a lot of things, like I had a consult about a month ago from a lady who had gone through a very extensive breast cancer treatment, bilateral mastectomies, radiation, chemo, conventional treatment, unfortunately. And we gave her our nutraceuticals, which will help her increase her survival no matter what she's doing. But she asked the question whether or not the xenotoxins in the environment, endocrine disruptors, are actually a cause of breast cancer. And I have to say yes. If you measure the PAC red cell and white cell levels, or a fat biopsy, you find the amount of we call halide, usually chloride, fluoride, and bromide, basically endocrine disruptor hormones, are the stimulant for breast cancer. So the Xenoestrogen Detox is the treatment for that, to try to pull it out. The other is NutriDefense. Those two are the top ones, NutriDefense and Xenoestrogen Detox. The third would be to add BioLVR and Semethyl. The Semethyl is a major detox pathways are sulfation, glucuronidation, and methylation. So the life support, of course, provides that phase 2 detox support. But BioLVR and Semethyl, Xenoestrogen Detox, and NutriDefense. Next is Vitamineral Max. Now, this is not like anybody else's vitamins. We hear people pushing things like longevity, GNC vitamins, etc. What you want is albion chelated minerals. You want bioactivated, high-absorption vitamins that are in their final metabolic stage, so they don't have to be activated by the body. They jump over the gene defect or the, if you want to call it, the toxic blockade. It's Vitamineral Max and its twin, which covers the additional minerals for healing, for phospholipid regeneration of tissues, solid organs, for the brain and neurotransmitters, and for blood sugar control, is Minerals Plus. So Vitamineral Max and Minerals Plus. Next would be Vision Max. Vision Max also with the same formula, believe it or not, is for the prostate. So if you're trying to reduce prostate cancer, you want to use Prostate Flow. Usually recommend the Prostate Flow 2 soft gels twice a day. And the Vision Max, at least a capsule twice a day. It's very important for the eyes. Can't see eye drops. I recommend the Cell Detox Glutathione. And for the optic nerve head, I recommend the use of Neurogen to help the eye. We also have additional peptides that are developed by the European Anti-Aging Society that are helpful for tissue regeneration one step before going to a stem cell transplant. And in fact, make it unnecessary to do a stem cell transplant. So Vision Max, very important, comprehensive formula for both the eye and the prostate, interestingly. Now our virus protection kit, and we have, of course, the kit for protection against viruses, whether it's the flu, and right now the current swine flu, H1N1, is going through the country. Very, very vicious flu. It can last up to a month. And if you don't treat it accurately, so we recommend it contains Nutridyne, Allicin Med, Power C, Silver 100, and that's available. We also have Vein-Away. We mentioned it earlier. If you're trying to repair blood vessels in the brain, the eye, the kidney, etc., you want to use Vein-Away. You want to use ultrathiomin B1 and ellagic acid, as well as, of course, our endothelial support formula, Cardiovasc. So the Vein-Away is a special-sized diosmin that will regenerate vessel health. So very important. You can actually do a B-scan ultrasound of the carotid artery, or looking at ultrasounds. You can see the actual regeneration of the normalization of the thickness of the vessel wall, etc. So Vein-Away, very important formula. Uridine 300. This is a part of our triple formula for regeneration of cholinergic pathways, for memory, for motor activity such as Parkinson's disease, and for the eye. Because it's interesting, cytidine, choline, uridine 300 monophosphate, and ultrathiomin B1 are very important for regeneration of the retina and the optic nerve head. Along with, of course, Neurogen, which is docosahexaenoic acid, and the minerals you're going to find in Minerals Plus. Synaptin. This is a formula that's I call a little brother to Cognition Plus. It's an excellent formula for boosting memory, neuroaxonal development, and protecting the brain against oxidative stress. So the biggies are Cognition Plus, Brain Power, and then Synaptin. We have Swedish flower pollen. This is for bladder irritability. So whether it's in women with the trigonitis, inflammation of the trigone of the lower bladder wall, or there's pressure from the uterus, or in men, prostate pressing against the bladder, or low-grade prostatism infection or inflammation, Swedish flower pollen, one of the Swedish flower pollen tablets to two every 4 hours during the day will dramatically reduce bladder irritability. We usually use that along with Bladder Up, which is a pumpkin seed extract, one soft gel morning and night, to help regenerate the bladder wall and to heal it. Superfolate. This is the 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, 1,000 micrograms. It's the most powerful activated folic acid in the world, and I usually use that as an alternative to the lower dosage in the BioLVR that contains activated B6, B12 as its final activated form, and the folic acid. So superfolate, very important if you have anemia, if you have decreased methylation pathway issues, such as you're trying to remyelinate nerve fibers. If you have peripheral neuropathy, we may add the superfolate. Folic acid is important for making digestive enzymes because the methylation is an important pathway. So superfolate will help that as well. Very important for reversal of depression. So many different things are involved with methylation. Next is sphingolin. Myelin basic protein, actually, this is the extract, myelin sheath, for MS, but also for other signs of central and peripheral myelopathy, because we often see it in other conditions where people have a dementing illness and their MRI shows, T1 weighted MRI shows decreased myelin. Sports Energy Light, this is our sports drink. It supports mitochondrial energy, electrolytes, and oxidative protection. It's amazing. In fact, I will probably throw a packet of my Sports Energy Light in my drink that I have on my desk right now. It's amazing. If you want to protect your energy level, it also has a very slow release form of caffeine and a special antioxidant form that is very, very powerful, but it won't give you a big hit and then just drop off. It does it very slowly and smoothly over a period of 5 hours. So far better than the so-called 5-hour energy drinks you see out there. We have seroflozyme, which is a serorage peptidase enzyme, which is a silkworm enzyme extract for getting rid of interfacial scarring, clots, blocks of lymphatic vessels, etc., anti-inflammatory. We also carry the Wobenzym N formula called Inflamex. The Inflamex is 10 times stronger than the old Wobenzym N with the serapeptase enzyme. So very powerful. The most powerful methyl donor in the world is our Semethyl. It's a 77% isomer called Semethyl. I tell people if you're trying to correct depression, trying to correct digestion, trying to correct myelination, central and peripheral, trying to get rid of heavy metals in the body, you want to be taking our Keeler Max, Semethyl, and Ultra Liquid Zeolite, which is the only non-acid wash zeolite. Regenerex. This is NRF2 pathway stimulant, superoxide dismutase stimulant, glutathione peroxidase stimulant. Very important, we call gene activator of antioxidant systems, works for one capsule just 42 hours. Amazing. Recidival hair tonic. This is for thinning or balding pattern, special male pattern balding. And by the way, it happens in females as they become postmenopausal, they generate male hormones. So the recidival hair tonic is universal for hair loss. Next is prostate flow. This is amazing for normalizing prostate and protecting against prostate cancer. If there's any form of prostatism, usually 1 or 2 soft gels twice a day will do the trick. Pregnenolone. This is the adrenal and sex steroid hormone cream, and it's a transdermal, so it's absorbed very highly. It's far superior to tablets or injections, and you use pregnenolone 2 to 3 pumps in the upper abdomen, lower chest, along with DHEA, and you'll restore adrenal support hormones along with our adrenal support capsules. It's a glandular with all the activated forms of vitamins to go with it. Power C Plus, this is the only in the world neutral pH vitamin C, far superior to liposomal because it's teeny dosages, far superior to any other form because you can take easily 20, 30, 40, 50 gram equivalents of vitamin C because it's a salt of calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium ascorbate with BioPerine black pepper extract. So that gives you some ideas. Power C, if you're worried about the flu or chronic inflammation or you're trying to fight cancer, there's so many reasons why you need them. As Linus Pauling says, Power C is liquid electrons. Restores your alkalinity of your body and your pH, restores energy level. It's amazing. And welcome back. And Ryan, we have you on a little early, which is good because you have to leave early at hour 2. But I want to talk on about the infectious disease because we have the basically the swine, P1, H1N1 flu running around. We have Zika virus, and we have lots of other we call strange super pathogens. Basically, the big pharma now is finally saying, "Uncle," that they don't have anything to knock it out. And I think off the top of my head, we have 3 major antipathogenics: Nutridyne, we have Allicin Med, and of course we have high dose Power C. We also have the things to block the receptor binding domain like NutriDefense, and the vitamin D, Mycel D3, and Myco D2. Let's talk a little bit about Allicin Med because this one is particularly good because it'll prevent biting insects from biting you. So if you're worried about ticks, because spring is about to spring, and if you travel in the area where you could be bitten by mosquitoes and pick up Zika virus, or the Zika virus genes, the genes that are actually in the mosquito, these Franken mosquitoes, may be in many ways worse than the actual Zika virus because only 20% are going to get symptoms of the infection, but there could be a much higher percentage actually get the genes jump into their body and cause havoc down the road. We don't know. But let's talk a bit about Allicin Med. This is amazing stuff for knocking out this flu bug, but also SARS beta coronavirus if you travel to the Middle East or Europe, and also Zika. I mean, it'll zap Zika completely. You just take it and you won't even get a primary infection.
Well, I think that products like the Allicin Med do offer a lot of hope for people in mounting a better defense mechanism against so many things. You know, they can name them whatever you want, but the fact is your immune system has to just work properly. It can defeat anything. it can defeat cancers, and it can defeat all kinds of other, nasty things that it gets exposed to if it's operating at its, peak level, its optimal performance. And so you take something like Allison Med, you're working as a way to do a kill agent, but just enhance the effect of the immune system to recognize and then destroy foreign invaders. And that's where probiotics are coming in. That's where you can more directly, kill agents like the Allison Med. But that's the key to regulating stress in our bodies and so forth. Otherwise, we just don't have the capabilities to mount the proper defense to deal with, nasty pathogens that, they've been around us since God put us on this earth. They've been around.
They're evolving faster, though, and they travel quicker because of international air travel.
Yes,
so as a result, the bigger,
sure.
better bugs are hitting us more frequently. And also the environment is degrading our immune system function, which is why you need to take nutraceuticals nowadays. You can't just kind of say, well, I'm going to be on an excellent diet. A diet's a good basis for it. And you drink good filtered water with a pure water system water. But if you don't take nutraceuticals now in this day and age of more vicious pathogens that spread quicker, and a degraded immune system because of the biotoxins everywhere, and Wi-Fi networks, cell phones, etc., you're not going to do well. And that's what's important people understand. So Power C Plus is the other twin with that. I tell people, besides the taking my NutriDefense, which I've designed, I think taking high-dose Power C is very important, at least 2 to 3 capsules 3 times a day if you've picked up any bug or if you're traveling to an endemic area where you could get malaria or any of these other bugs. You want to take NutriDefense and Power C Plus, Allison Med. This is really important.
Yeah. Power C is, vitamin C is well known and well understood that it's a very important thing to do nutraceutically, but people maximizing the benefit from the vitamin C they're taking, that's where the NutriMed line, is going to excel because it uses a neutralized pH vitamin C, so it's not highly acidic, so your body can absorb it better, and it's also enhanced for absorption with a material known as BioPerine. BioPerine's a patented black pepper extract that's been shown in humans to increase the absorption of vitamin C by 40%. And so, there's vitamin C, and then there's the NutriMed vitamin C, and that's what makes NutriMedical and your advice, Dr. Bill, so profound for people is because they go, well, I thought I tried vitamin C, but I guess I really didn't.
But they got to take a good dosage. For example, when we fight cancer, what dosage do you think I recommend as the starting dosage for vitamin C?
Wow. Oh, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 units?
I'm recommending that they take at least 9 to 12 capsules, which you multiply by 1.5. That's a lot. That's like around 36 to 48 grams of vitamin C a day. When you're doing that dosage, basically cancer goes, and it just can't grow. So you do that along with a ketogenic Gerson-style diet. You take our malignant rest, malignant block, ellagic acid, full vitamin K2. You take all these things together, but the high-dose vitamin C basically just stymies cancer or even autoimmune disease. You want to shut off an autoimmune disease? Take our Allergon, Aller Block, and Cell Detox Glutathione Nutritrala, and take those super high dosage vitamin C. Autoimmune disease, just basically the same basis for cancer as autoimmune disease, cannot exist in a highly alkaline environment. It just cannot exist. But you have to get into dosage where if you take itty-bitty dosages like liposomal vitamin C or the average one in the store, if you take more than 500 milligrams a day, you're going to get explosive diarrhea. You can't with our buffered, non-buffered, but our actual neutral pH because it's not buffered. When you take ours, which is a calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium ascorbate with BioPerine, it's completely different technology than any other vitamin C, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's what, time and time again, when people are looking at the NutriMedical line and going, why is this working? It seems like it's made up of similar things I've taken before, but I haven't had this effect. And that could go to the basics of just even the multivitamin. People go, what is the difference? The difference is so much about the bioavailability that's been figured out and utilized for the development of the products in the NutriMedical line.
Bioconversion. It's already in the activated form.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's your next most favorite one? We're talking about infection. We want to boost the immune system. We want to block. I like MyCell D3, both the liquid and the capsules. Most people don't realize when you get an acute infection, if you go up to 5 of the 5,000 unit soft gels twice a day, you basically completely block the receptor binding domain. The virus cannot spread through your body. A lot of people don't realize that. Take vitamin C, Power C Plus, and take MyCell D3 high dose even just for a couple of days, and you just, bam, it blocks the receptor binding domain.
Yeah, it's interesting, and our bodies are typically so worn down. As you said, I think our environment, stress levels, diet, so forth, all add up to basically depletions, and we don't get very good advice. Mainstream medical advice is, the vitamin D could be one of the last things they look at, and yet fundamentally, it's like without it, your immune system is going to be compromised.
Well, your regular doctors are not just untrained; they're distrained. Their advice is actually harmful to listen to, because it's uninformed, dangerous, and stupid. And the problem is, as soon as you put stress on someone, you deplete the body of many of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients, and many of the drugs that they give actually cause depletion syndromes. So, when you talk to the average doctor, they have, I call, less than a postage stamp of knowledge in any nutritional area. It's ridiculous. It's obscene, actually. For them to open their mouth, actually, is an obscenity. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is really. It's very frustrating that people, they're trying to do their best and get the best advice, and doctors are, a highly trusted person, but it is so sad how far behind the times they are in giving just general recommendations that aren't going to be harmful. They're not going to put toxic compounds in their body, and they're going to support the mechanisms that need to be supported naturally. And that's a shame that it's taken so long.
You could say that 20, 30 years ago now with the internet and the amount of communication. The average doctor knows that even if you don't include herbology, natural medicine, etc., they're aware that there's other options, but they don't want to spread outside those because they're not in their bailiwick, and they don't have control, therefore they can't get paid for it. Because remember, the thing that I tell people over and over again, the primary driver of what I call bad socialized medicine in Canada and Britain and elsewhere, and bad, we call industrialized country medicine like in America, where you have open insurance companies, is fee-for-service and billing codes. What you need to do is pay a doctor based on an hourly wage, based on their years of experience, training, and their ability to solve the problems. And the current system, the doctor doesn't want to say, hey, if you take these nutraceuticals, you're going to protect your eye from deterioration, rather than just trying to take drops to lower your intraocular pressure or doing laser surgery. Well, the same thing with vessel disease. Take Omega Supreme Krill and Omega Supreme. If you're lowering cholesterol, for example, just take head-to-head. The studies have shown that cholesterol will drop into its normalized range without oxidative stress. Just take an Omega cod liver liquid. Amazing. Well, I guess, Ryan, we'll get a little break for a few minutes. We'll be back in hour number 2. And if you have any questions on the health issues, 800-259-5791. Coming up in hour number 3, we hope to have Professor McCanny without a lot of background noise. We're trying to track down John Denardo, who's got a major update on the issue of the approaching research that come up from ALMA, the Atacama Large Millimeter Array, ALMA, in Chile, and the discovery and now final release of the issue of some large planet objects and a probable dwarf star in the Oort cloud about 0.73 light years out, and the gravity waves affecting our Earth and inner planets and sun. We'll be back in a moment with hour number 2. Stay tuned to the NutriMedical Report with amazing information you need to know.